New robot has a human touch. Most robots achieve grasping and tactile sensing through motorized means, which can be excessively bulky and rigid. A Cornell University group has devised a way for a soft robot to feel its surroundings internally, in much the same way humans do. A group led by Robert Shepard, Assistant Professor of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering and Principal Investigator of Organic Robotics Lab, has published a paper describing how stretchable optical waveguides act as curvature, elongation and force sensors in a soft robotic hand. Doctoral student Huiquan Zhao was lead author of Optoelectronically Innervated Soft Prosthetic Hand via Stretchable Optical Waveguides, which is featured in the debut edition of Science Robotics. Most robots today have sensors on the outside of the body that detect things from the surface, Zhao said. Our sensors are integrated within the body, so they can actually detect forces being transmitted through the thickness of the robot, a lot like we and all organisms do when we feel pain. For example, optical waveguides have been in use since the early 1970s for numerous sensing functions, including tactile, position and acoustic. Fabrication was originally a complicated process, but the advent over the last 20 years of soft lithography and 3D printing has led to development of elastomeric sensors that are easily produced and incorporated into a soft robotic application. Shepard's group employed a 4-step soft lithography process to produce the core, through which light propagates, and the cladding, outer surface of the waveguide, which also houses the LED, light-emitting diode, and the photodiode. The more the prosthetic hand deforms, the more light is lost through the core. That variable loss of light, as detected by the photodiode, is what allows the prosthesis to sense its surroundings. If no light was lost when we bend the prosthesis, we wouldn't get any information about the state of the sensor, Shepard said. The amount of loss is dependent on how it's bent. The group used its optoelectronic prosthesis to perform a variety of tasks, including grasping and probing for both shape and texture. Most notably, the hand was able to scan 3D, mimicking biological movements with soft robots. Tool makes it easier to design robots that can bend, twist. Date: December 19, 2016. Source: Harvard John A. Paulson School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Summary: designing a soft robot to move organically to bend like a finger or twist like a wrist has always been a process of trial and error. Now, researchers have developed a method to automatically design soft actuators based on the desired movement. Designing a soft robot to move organically to bend like a finger or twist like a wrist has always been a process of trial and error. Now, researchers from the Harvard John A. Paulson School of Engineering and Applied Sciences and the Wyss Institute for Biologically Inspired Engineering have developed a method to automatically design soft actuators based on the desired movement. The research is published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Rather than designing these actuators empirically, we wanted a tool where you could plug in a motion and it would tell you how to design the actuator to achieve that motion, said Claudia Bertoldi, the John L. Loeb Associate Professor of the Natural Sciences and co-author of the paper. Designing a soft robot that can bend like a finger or knee may seem simple, but the motion is actually incredibly complex. The design is so complicated because one actuator type is not enough to produce complex motions, said Fanuala Connolly, a graduate student at SEAS and first author of the paper. You need a sequence of actuator segments, each performing a different motion, and you want to actuate them using a single input. The method developed by the team uses mathematical modeling of fluid-powered, fiber-reinforced actuators to optimize the design of an actuator to perform a certain motion. The team used this model to design a soft robot that bends like an index finger and twists like a thumb when powered by a single pressure source. This research streamlines the process of designing soft robots that can perform complex movements, said Connor Walsh, the John L. Loeb Associate Professor of Engineering and Applied Sciences, core faculty member at the Wyss Institute for Biologically Inspired Engineering and co-author of the paper. It can be used to design a robot arm that moves along a certain path or a wearable robot that assists with motion of a limb. The new methodology will be included in the Soft Robotic Toolkit, an online, open-source resource developed at SEAS to assist researchers, educators and budding innovators to design, fabrication, model, characterize and control their own soft robots. Story source materials provided by Harvard John A. Paulson School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Original written by Lee Bruce. Note: content may be edited for style and length. Mind Control Toys, the next generation of Christmas presents. Date December 15, 2016. Source University of Warwick Summary. The next generation of toys could be controlled by the power of the mind. Thanks to new research, toys controlled with the power of thoughts could become must-have gift. Credit. Image courtesy of University of Warwick. The next generation of toys could be controlled by the power of the mind. Thanks to research by the University of Warwick, led by Professor Christopher James, Director of Warwick Engineering and Biomedicine at the School of Engineering. Technology has been developed which allows electronic devices to be activated using electrical impulses from brain waves, by connecting our thoughts to computerized systems. Some of the most popular toys on children's lists to send us such as remote-control cars and helicopters, toy robots and electric racing sets could all be controlled via a headset, using the power of thought. This could be based on levels of concentration, thinking of your favorite color or stroking your dog, for example. NSTEAD of a handheld controller. A headset is used to create a brain-computer interface, a communication link between the human brain and the computerized device. Sensors in the headset measure the electrical impulses from brain at various different frequencies. Each frequency can be somewhat controlled under special circumstances. This activity is then processed by a computer, amplified and fed into the electrical circuit of the electronic toy. Whilst brain, each frequency can be somewhat controlled under special circumstances. This activity is then processed by a computer, amplified and fed into the electrical circuit of the electronic toy. Professor James comments on the future potential for this technology. Whilst brain-computer interfaces already exist, there are already a few gaming headsets on the market. Their functionality has been quite limited. New research is making the headsets narrower, cleaner and stronger signals than ever before. This means stronger links to the toy, game or action, thus making it a very immersive experience. The exciting bit is what comes next. How long before we start unlocking the front door or answering the phone through brain-computer interfaces? Story source materials provided by University of Warwick. Note: content may be edited for style and length. Gaming your brain to treat depression. Participants using a Gameba step show improvement. Project EVO targets an individual's core neurological ability to process multiple streams of information, and helps to treat the cause of depression, researchers found. Researchers have found promising results for treating depression with a video game interface that targets underlying cognitive issues associated with depression rather than just managing the symptoms. We found that moderately depressed people do better with apps like this because they address or treat correlates of depression, said Patricia R. N., a UW medicine researcher in psychiatry and behavioral sciences. The first study enrolled older adults diagnosed with late-life depression into a treatment trial, where they were randomized to receive either a mobile, tablet-based treatment technology developed by Akili Interactive Labs called Project EVO, or an in-person therapy technique known as problem-solving therapy, PST. Project EVO runs on phones and tablets and is designed to improve focus and attention at a basic neurological level. The results, published January 3 in the journal Depression and Anxiety, showed that the group using Project EVO demonstrated specific cognitive benefits, such as attention, compared to the behavioral therapy, and saw similar improvements in mood and self-reported function. Joaquin A. Angra, a University of California, San Francisco, UCSF researcher in neurology and psychiatry, is the lead author, and R. N. is the senior author. The researchers have no commercial interests in the intervention manufactured by Akili Interactive Labs in Boston. While EVO was not directly designed to treat depressive symptoms, we hypothesize that there may indeed be beneficial effects on these symptoms by improving cognitive issues with targeted treatment, and so far, the results are promising, said Angara. People with late-life depression, 60+, are known to have trouble focusing their attention on personal goals and report trouble concentrating because they are so distracted by their worries. Akili's technology was designed to help people better focus their attention and to prevent people from being easily distracted. R.N., a UW medicine researcher in psychiatry and behavioral sciences, said most of the participants had never used a tablet, let alone played a video game, but compliance was more than 100%. The participants were required to play the game 5 times a week for 20 minutes, but many played it more. Participants in this arm of the study also attended weekly meetings with a clinician. The meetings served as a control for the fact that participants in the problem-solving therapy arm were seen in person on a weekly basis, and social contact of this nature can have a positive effect on mood. A second study, which was another joint effort by UW and UCSF, randomized more than 600 people across the United States assessed as moderately or mildly depressed to one of 3 interventions: Akili's project, EVO, IPST, an app deployment of problem-solving therapy, or placebo control, an app called Health Tips, which offered healthy suggestions. R.N., the lead researcher on the study, published Dec. 20 in the Journal of Medical Internet Research, JIMR, found that people who were mildly depressed were able to see improvements in all 3 groups, including the placebo. However, those individuals who were more than mildly depressed showed a greater improvement of their symptoms following their use of Project EVO or IPST versus the placebo. R.N. said much of her research is aimed at providing effective treatment to people who need it. And these results provide great potential for helping people who don't have the resources to access effective problem-solving therapy. But, she stressed, the apps should be used under clinical supervision because without a human interface, people were not as motivated to use it. In the JIMR study, 58% of participants did not download the app. Akili's technologies are based on a proprietary neuroscience approach developed to target specific neurological systems through sensory and digital mechanics. The company's technology platform used in this trial is based on cognitive science exclusively, licensed from the lab of Dr. Adam Gazzaley at UCSF, and proprietary adaptive algorithms developed at Akili, which are built into action video game interfaces. The technology targets an individual's core neurological ability to process multiple streams of information. Project EVO is undergoing multiple clinical trials for use in cognitive disorders including Alzheimer's disease, traumatic brain injury, and pediatric attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, and the company is on path for potential FDA clearance for the games used to treat pediatric ADHD.
Soft exosuit economies, understanding the costs of lightening the load. A Harvard team quantifies significant metabolic energy savings gained from its wearable gait-improving robot. January 18, 2017. Last year, Harvard's soft exosuit team provided first proof of concept results showing that its wearable robot could lower energy expenditure in healthy people walking with a load on their back. Made of functional textiles, cable-based actuation and a biologically inspired control system, the exosuit targets specific leg joints, instead of the full leg, and delivers assistance that is synchronized with the wearer's walking mechanics in individuals ranging from people that carry heavy loads to people that are disabled by stroke or other health complications. The team is led by Connor Walsh, John L. Loeb, Associate Professor of Engineering and Applied Sciences at the Harvard John A. Paulson School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, SEAS, a Wyss Institute core faculty member, and the founder of the Harvard Biodesign Lab. But the question still remained, what are the overall energy savings when assistance levels are increased? These savings are the result of the energy spared due to the assistive force provided to the ankle motions, and this must be balanced with the additional energy expended by the wearer when carrying the exosuit's mass. Now, in a new study published as the cover article in Science Robotics, Walsh's multidisciplinary team of roboticists, engineers, biomechanics experts and apparel designers isolated the beneficial effects of the exosuit. By removing the actuation, electronics and battery units, leaving only the exosuit's light wearable textiles and pulling cables, the researchers were able to calculate the impact on the wearer's joints. In a test group of 7 healthy wearers, we clearly saw that the more assistance provided to the ankle joints, the more energy the wearers could save, with a maximum reduction of almost 23% compared to walking with the exosuit powered off, said Walsh. To our knowledge, this is the highest relative reduction in energy expenditure observed to date with a tethered exoskeleton or exosuit. The team found that wearers significantly adapted their gait with increasing levels of assistance. The changes were most significant at the ankle joint but were also observed at the hip, as the exosuit included straps coupling the assistance from the back of the lower legs to the front of the hip in a beneficial manner. Other studies had reported that there can be an energy transfer between the ankle and other joints. However, having a textile couple the ankle and hip, our soft exosuit may have amplified this effect, contributing to the considerable energy savings we found, said Brendan Quinlivan, a graduate student working with Walsh and one of the 2 first authors on the study. The authors acknowledge that future studies are now required to compare the effects of fully body-worn versions of the exosuit, with the weight of the actuation and battery carried by the wearer, to walking with normal clothes to better quantify the true impact of the technology. The results from this study will help us find a sweet spot between the added system weight and the amount of force applied to achieve maximum benefits in energy expenditure in wearers. Defining these interdependencies in healthy people will ultimately also help us design versions suitable for people with gait abnormalities, said Seung-Jun Lee, who also is a graduate student in Walsh's team and a co-first author of the study. The study was supported by the Wyss Institute for Biologically Inspired Engineering, the Harvard John A. Paulson School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA's Warrior Web Program, the National Science Foundation, a Samsung Scholarship, the Sao Paulo Research Foundation and the Robert Bosch Stiftung. Making AI systems that see the world as humans do. Model performs at human levels on Standard Intelligence Test. Date: January 19, 2017. Source: Northwestern University. Summary: An artificial intelligence system has been developed that performs at human levels on a Standard Intelligence Test. A Northwestern University team developed a new computational model that performs at human levels on a Standard Intelligence Test. This work is an important step toward making artificial intelligence systems that see and understand the world as humans do. The model performs in the 75th percentile for American adults, making it better than average, said Northwestern Engineering's Ken Forbes. The problems that are hard for people are also hard for the model, providing additional evidence that its operation is capturing some important properties of human cognition. The new computational model is built on CogSketch, an artificial intelligence platform previously developed in Forbes Laboratory. The platform has the ability to solve visual problems and understand sketches in order to give immediate, interactive feedback. CogSketch also incorporates a computational model of analogy, based on Northwestern psychology professor Didier Gentner's structure mapping theory. Gentner received the 2016 David E. Rumelhart Prize for her work on this theory. Forbes, Walter P. Murphy Professor of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science at Northwestern's McCormick School of Engineering, developed the model with Andrew Lovett, a former Northwestern postdoctoral researcher in psychology. Their research was published online this month in the journal Psychological Review. The ability to solve complex visual problems is one of the hallmarks of human intelligence. Developing artificial intelligence systems that have this ability not only provides new evidence for the importance of symbolic representations and analogy in visual reasoning, but it could potentially shrink the gap between computer and human cognition. While Forbes and Lovett's system can be used to model general visual problem-solving phenomena, they specifically tested it on Raven's progressive matrices, a nonverbal standardized test that measures abstract reasoning. All of the test's problems consist of a matrix with one image missing. The test taker is given 6 to 8 choices with which to best complete the matrix. Forbes and Lovett's computational model performed better than the average American. The Raven's test is the best existing predictor of what psychologists call fluid intelligence, or the general ability to think abstractly, reason, identify patterns, solve problems, and discern relationships, said Lovett, now a researcher at the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory. Our results suggest that the ability to flexibly use relational representations, comparing and reinterpreting them, is important for fluid intelligence. The ability to use and understand sophisticated relational representations is a key to higher-order cognition. Relational representations connect entities and ideas such as the clock is above the door or pressure differences cause water to flow. These types of comparisons are crucial for making and understanding analogies, which humans use to solve problems, weigh moral dilemmas, and describe the world around them. Most artificial intelligence research today concerning vision focuses on recognition, or labeling what is in a scene rather than reasoning about it, Forbes said. But recognition is only useful if it supports subsequent reasoning. Our research provides an important step toward understanding visual reasoning more broadly.
When you back it up and you drop it down low.